race fans, welcome back to the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series. Last weekend was Rockingham. Joe Biden extended his points lead with a big win. But this week, we're in North Carolina. We're at Charlotte for the Dr. Pepper World 600. Sure to be an exciting race. This will mark the third of the waypoint in the season. So let's go through our starting lineup. John Cena, runner, finished second here in 2018 in the car that pretty much won in 2018. He was the 24 one in 2018 is what I'm trying to say. He'll start in second today alongside Jeff Lynn, who's looking for another landmark win. Then David Dayton, who will start in row 2 alongside Denzel Washington. A great day for Hat Trick Motorsports in qualifying, as 3 of the 4 cars start inside the top 5. Tom Jones is there. He'll start next to Morgan Freeman. Then Richard Simmons, the 2018 champion, starts next to the current points leader, Joe Biden. Rounding out the top 10, a pair of Toyotas. Bela Fleck, third in points in the Cat Dealers Camry, will line up next to Rick Scott, driving for Raven West. Iggy Koopa and Peter Perfect are in row 6. Then Geddy Lee and Telly Savalas. Savalas with the Regal colors again this week. Then Crow T Robot and Al Capone. Hutz Strickland will line up next to Stephen George. And Jerry Springer will line up next to Casper the Friendly Ghost. Get outside the top 20, Tom Hanks will line up next to Alfred Hitchcock. Then it's Woody Harrelson and Marco Polo. Polo is second in points. Woody Harrelson debuting the Tide, Give Kids the World Pontiac scheme. Donald Fagen's in Best Buy colors now. He'll start next to Billy Mays. Then Bob Ross, who won this race last year, next to one of the 2 part-time drivers that made the field, Pastor Maldonado. Then Woody Woodpecker and Harrison Ford, your defending champion. Getting towards the back of the grid, Al Roker, who'll start next to Walter White. Roker still hasn't won since the spring of 2018. Count Dracula, driving for the team that John Cena nearly won this race with in 2018. You'll start next to Blaze Alexander, who has a history with night races at Charlotte. Let's leave it at that. James Bond will start next to Taron Egerton, the other part-time driver. Then Kathy Bates and Snoop Dogg. Sharing row 20 are a pair of teammates. It's both for the Logan Cloud Motorsports Dodge Chargers, Brendan Gaughan, and 2015 World 600 winner Carl Edwards. Ian Anderson starts last alongside Brian Wilson. Now, Ian Anderson qualified in the top 10, but it was discovered that his car he qualified with, as well as the car he had run last weekend, were illegal, failing tech inspection, so he got sent straight to the back of the pack. Made sure it was legal. Now, I mentioned running for Toyota is Bela Fleck. Anyway, there was actually, before we go any further, let's go down trackside so we can get the most famous words in all of motorsports from tonight's Grand Marshal.
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines firing on all 42 cars. Now, I mentioned Bela Fleck is third in points, but Toyota is fifth in manufacturer points. Behind Pontiac, ahead of Renault. Chevy, Dodge, Ford, Alfa Romeo, the only teams with wins. It's Dodge 64, Ford 61, Chevy 59, Pontiac 36, Toyota 23, Renault 17, Alfa Romeo 13, and Buick at 2. Now, we had 10 drivers fail to qualify for this race. The full-time drivers, Hank Hill, Chick Corea, Burt Reynolds, only a second miss on the year, and Grover Cleveland. But also Tim Foster, Dave Marcus, Mark Martin, Nathan McCain, Sammy Hagar, and Tony Stark. So, field coming around. Are we coming around? No, we are not coming around. Because Harrison Ford wants to oof himself.
Drivers.
Should mention Mark Martin has won here 4 times and failed to qualify. Only one of those was the 600 though. Green flag is out as the pace car is down pit road. 42 legal cars will take the green flag. Side by side off of turn 2, now into turn 3 as Jeff Lynn and John Cena fight. They don't want to give up an inch. Neither does Denzel Washington. Look at that. Jeff Lynn leads the first lap at the line. The top 6 are all Chevy. The top 7 all General Motors products. Now John Cena will soar into the race. Caution already out. Al Roker, James Bond, Harrison Ford. As they run back to the yellow flag. What happened? As you can see, John Cena beats teammate Denzel Washington. Oh, an open... So Harrison Ford and Al Roker, that's a teammate, as James Bond also got pinched. Ford into the wall, so is Bond, all 3 of them really. Now, pit stops. Yeah, definitely this will not be a 2-stop race. I don't think that's even possible. This will probably end up, at the very least, it's a 3-stop race. You know, basically because of it's going to be a 4-stop race, more than likely. As the entire field comes down. Anybody going to play strategy? Does not look like it. Oh, contact! Wow, that's almost... As mostly people... Some people taking fuel, some people going tires. Damage repair, as you can see. And now it's Tom Jones leading off of pit road. The field trying to sort itself out. Oh, we got a spin! Whoa, Woody Woodpecker just got turned. It was Tom Hanks, I guess, was not happy. Or something. Wonder if anybody's gonna come. Oh, Al Capone, what happened? Well, he was doing good. Good, you're good, you're... Oh, and he just stacked up and ran into the back of the... Straight into the back of the... Now he doesn't even have a hood. Jesus. This can be interesting. As this field is already all completely mixed up. Mostly people taking... Some people look like they're just taking no tires. Some people looks like took right sides only. .44 does not take any tires. Missed opportunity. So, this is going to be very interesting. Ian Anderson's already up to 29th. Tom Jones is your leader. Richard Simmons is second. Bela Fleck third. Telly Savalas fourth. Crow T. Robot fifth. Then Stephen George sixth. Alfred Hitchcock seventh. John Cena eighth. Marco Polo ninth. David Dayton 10th. We are going to go back green on lap 7. Donald Fagen. Morgan Freeman up here. Iggy Koopa, Billy Mays, Hut Strickland, Bob Ross, Casper the Ghost, Denzel Washington, Peter Perfect, Walter White, the top 20. Looking at the times, I think most of these drivers... Most of the field, yes. Just took a bit of fuel only with a few drivers. It looks like gone. Kathy Bates, Snoop Dogg, Woody Woodpecker, Carl Edwards, Count Dracula, Pastor Maldonado, Rick Scott, Peter Perfect, John Cena taking tires, Tom Hanks, Morgan Freeman, Geddy Lee, David Dayton, Jeff Lynne, potentially the other people who came down, 697 and 7. So a lot of the people with tires, a lot of people didn't. We're back green though, and we're a racing. We are dynamic, the entire field, single file when we come to the green. 3 wide for 8th. Tom Jones in the lead. Telly Savalas goes from 4th to 2nd though. Fortunately, you're going to see that on the screen for the rest of the race. So I close out of it and then come back in. Oh no! Yes! We didn't die! Hallelujah! Anyway, Tom Jones and Telly Savalas. It's down pit road is the 24 of John Cena. He received damage somewhere! Huge crash in the back! What on earth? Caution coming out. Pace car. Everybody's destroyed! I don't know where he received damage. Was it because people were slowing up? I surely don't know. Oh my god, it was a battle for third. What on earth? See, the 85, the 43, the 3, of course, the 22, the 20, the 25, the 36, 84, so many cars. Oh my good, everybody's involved. The 22 flipped over, the 36 is over. There's gonna be no one left in the race! Oh my goodness, Lord, this is crazy. Everybody I know of is repairing. John Cena, I think, is gonna end up the race leader because of this. He just zoomed past the pace car. Because he didn't take the yellow. He was on pit road. You would think now he'd be taking the... Maybe he is now. Yeah, he'd be taking the yellow now. But he's going to stay out. He's technically back on the lead lap. We're behind. So just watch as a ton of drivers disappear. We're just going to go live. And look at this. There's only 24 cars even running at this point. We're going to pause. We're going to go back and we're going to try and figure out how many cars were all involved in this. So we're going to go to the helicopter camp because I think it's going to be easier to count. So Richard Simmons came down on Bela Fleck. They spun out. There's Steven George getting it. That's 3. Marco Polo gets a scrape. That's 4. 5. So 3. 4. Marco Polo is 4. Alfred Hitchcock 5. Donald Fagen, Morgan Freeman. That's 7. Which is crazy. Seven cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it just Denzel Washington comes in. There's number 8. Billy Mays is 9. Casper is 10. Blaze Alexander. Oh, he's number 11. Harrelson, 12. Biden, 13. Scott, 14. Maldonado, of course, is going to be 15. Then Geddy Lee. Brian Wilson. It looks like Carl Edwards got contact at this point. Tom Hanks, Kathy Bates. Count Dracula. Brendan Gaughan, Snoop Dogg. Al Roker. James Bond, Al Capone. That's like what, 26, 27 cars? Taron Egerton's involved. So that's at least 27 cars involved. I don't even know who wasn't involved. Probably John Cena, Telly Savalas, Tom Jones, David Dayton Crow, Marco Polo, Fagan, Ross, Iggy Koopa, Hut Strickland, Peter Perfect, maybe a handful of others. But several cars are now out of this race. Starting from the back, going to the front. Carl Edwards, 42nd. Tom Hanks, 41st. Blaze Alexander, 40th. Billy Mays, 39th. Bela Fleck, 38th. Pastor Maldonado, 37th. Kathy Bates, 36th. Richard Simmons, 35th. Al Roker, 34th. Woody Harrelson, 33rd. Harrison Ford, 32nd. Count Dracula, 31st. Taron Egerton, 30th. 29th is going to be Denzel Washington. 28th, Morgan Freeman. 27th, Joe Biden. 26th, Stephen George. And 25th, Casper the Friendly Ghost. Unbelievable. We're going to go on board a few of these guys. Here's Bela Fleck. As the huge Munkus one erupts. Let's see, who all would have been? Pole sitter Jeff Lynne. I think actually got through without a problem. Richard Simmons. Let's go on board Maldonado. Not Carl Edwards. I didn't want him. I wanted Billy Mays. Billy Mays. Driving in blind looks pretty good. And then bam, hit by Maldonado there. Alfred Hitchcock. Whoa. Denzel Washington. Good job, got on the apron, and then, oh, Denzel Washington. Terrible crash. The race had been red flagged for cleanup of this ginormous accident. Horrific scenes here. We're gonna go green on lap 14 with 24 cars still in this race. So here's how they run. Tom Jones is your leader. Crow T Robot second. Bob Ross third. Peter Perfect fourth. Ian Anderson fifth. Jerry Springer sixth. Donald Fagan seventh. Woody Woodpecker 8th, Walter White 9th, Brian Wilson 10th, David Dayton 11th, Marco Polo 12th, Snoop Dogg 13th, Telly Savalas 14th, John Cena 15th, Rick Scott 16th, Hutz Strickland 17th, Jeff Lynne 18th, Iggy Koopa 19th, Brendan Gaughan 20th, James Bond 21st, Alfred Hitchcock 22nd, Geddy Lee 23rd, and Al Capone in 24th. See a few of these guys that you can see they have dented hoods or no hoods in the case of James Bond and Al Capone. 24 cars will restart this race after an absolutely massive accident takes out the field. Tom Jones will lead him back around. Green flag is out. And we are racing. So you can see some of the slower cars. Well, there's nobody terribly off pace except for Capone and Geddy Lee. I guess Hitchcock and Bond are off pace. Tom Jones is going to lead them. But here comes Crow taking a look to the inside. Bob Ross also up here. Is this a decent opportunity for one of the newer other manufacturers to get a win? Got a couple Pontiacs and a Toyota that might have pace. Iggy Koopa will peel it off the apron. Peel it onto the apron, on the pit road. Oh, there's really only, it looks like, 19 guys in this lead pack, if you can say such a thing. Camshaft valve, retired, accident, ignition, piston. Currently, Tom Jones has laid down the fastest lap by anybody. Iggy Koopa adds damage probably from that accident. Taking right side tires and filling it up with fuel. They are taking a while. Now Woody Woodpecker's actually tied Tom Jones for fastest lap, as Crow T Robot looks to try and take it. Bernie Ecclestone Incorporated running 2nd, 3rd, and 8th at the moment. Iggy Koopa will rejoin the pace. He is 2 laps down. Already proving to have more speed than Geddy Lee. Tom Jones leads in this absolutely crazy race. David Dayton up to 2nd. Up to 7th. Oh, another team that's pretty good, doing really good right now. Never Pork. 4th and 6th. Showing pace that they really haven't as a team since 2018. Three of the 4 hat-trick cars are still out there. Both Pity Enterprise cars are at least running. Some teams got hit hard by this accident. As now they come up on Geddy Lee. Oh! Tom Jones just spun! Crow T Robot just spun the leader! Oh, and Rick Scott's into him! A terrible accident. We see there's the main brunt of the hit. Rick Scott just was trying to get it slowed down. Got it slowed down about 150. He did sail it in the corner at 196. But what on earth happened to Tom Jones? Oh, Crow T Robot just turned him. They're getting a big toe back. And pretty much everybody coming down pit road. Ian Anderson up to 2nd. This Crow T Robot with his first laps led of the race. Just when we were mentioning a good day. A lot of people taking all tires. 2 cans of fuel, I'm guessing, is what that is. Good stop for our leader, Crow. 42 just took tires. Just needed to put a little bit of fuel in, so... Interesting, he did get to pit as he is 2 laps down. Some teams were hit hard by this accident. Both of the Richard Simmons racing cars are out. As Raven West is packing up their things, they're taking it behind the wall. Tom Jones, the window net is down. There's 22 cars still running. In an absolutely absurd race so far, and we're just about to hit the quarter of the race mark. And 20 cars are out. Bernie Ecclestone Incorporated is running first, second, and sixth. Marco Polo is running seventh, which is huge for the championship right now. He's gonna claw back at least like 60 points on Joe Biden. Crazy, crazy race here. We're only a quarter of the way through. Only 20 cars on the lead lap. Geddy Lee did get lapped. Oh yeah, it was the 8 just got by him at the line, but the 1 was able to get by. Crow leads. Ian Anderson second. Bob Ross third, trying to go back to back. I should mention both of the win in the first 2 legs of the Vernors Million were both won by part-time drivers. And neither of them attempted this race, so nobody's gonna win the $1 million. However, there's $100,000 if you can win 2 of the 4 legs. So potentially the winner of this race also wins the Southern 500. Or I don't think Kaminari's not planning to run the Southern 500, but Peter Onjak's team might. If he can pull that off, he might. Well, Bob Ross is third. Jerry Springer fourth. Woody Woodpecker fifth. David Dayton 6th, Marco Polo 7th, Telly Savalas 8th, Donald Fagan 9th, Brendan Gaughan 10th, then Brian Wilson, Walter White, James Bond, Peter Perfect, Snoop Dogg, Alfred Hitchcock, John Cena, Hut Strickland, Jeff Lynne, and Al Capone. Iggy Koopa, Geddy Lee's 21st, 1 lap down. Iggy Koopa's 2 laps down in 22nd. Pace car off pit road. Crow T Robot leads him back to the green. Geddy Lee, he just doesn't have pace. Iggy Koopa, maybe. Although his tires are a little worn, I would say. He's got the speed. So now there goes the 66 of Bob Ross to the inside. For a second I thought there was a caution. No, it was just Geddy Lee. Ian Anderson has taken the lead off the corner. Bob Ross going in second. And Ian Anderson has led, gone from last to first in 29 laps. On adversity drive. All these guys really got screwed over. Proving it's going to be very interesting how this race is going to unfold. Some people running fast laps. Hut Strickland is the fastest car on the track. These guys are catching back up. Yeah, John Cena's also in this train. Just ran a second lap that was just 1/1000th slower. As now, side by side, Bob Ross trying to get a push from Ford teammate Woody Woodpecker. Now another Ford driver, Jerry Springer, up here. Say top 15, I guess, still have a chance at the moment. Though some of them are gonna need 16. I mean, depending on how a caution will cycle out, I think Snoop Dogg could have the pace. Battle for second going on. Woody Woodpecker clear on the high side off the corner. Bob Ross in third. Hut Strickland catching back up to this group. As Bob Ross tries once again, Woody Woodpecker powers down around on the outside. Now here comes Jerry Springer in here. Jerry Springer has never won in the Vernors Cup Series. He's won in the Melling Series before, twice. Now Woody Woodpecker going for the race lead side by side, coming to the line. It will be Ian Anderson. They are catching Geddy Lee again. It's going to be very interesting, especially since Geddy Lee has cars running 3rd and 9th at the moment. Walter White slow. Oh, we got into the wall. 3 wide with Brian Wilson and Hut Strickland. Hut Strickland going for 14th. Going 201 into the corner. Still got to find a way around Iggy Koopa. And got to catch back up to this pack. Meanwhile, at the front, Woody Woodpecker did lead a lap. Now it's Ian Anderson back to the lead as we hit Geddy Lee. Top 2 by him. And Lee's going to hold up his teammate. Going to hold up really everyone. This is going to immensely help Hut Strickland. As long as he doesn't get... They're nearly 3 wide. So there we go. These guys sail on by. Once again, going for the lead. Woody Woodpecker. And Hut Strickland's in the 10th. Could this be the day he gets his first win? Jerry Springer getting screwed over by his own teammate. Alfred Hitchcock getting around James Bond. Here we go. Here's the train. Top 9 really hooked up. Well, maybe not Ian Anderson, who's escaping a bit. 10th, 11th, and 12th getting together. They're separated by a round. And there's Al Capone, who's not quite as slow. But still sluggish. Woody Woodpecker driving it in underneath the 8 car. Another thing to think about, pit stops are going to be coming up sometime in the next... probably 10 laps. Strickland might be using up his tires a little bit too much. Springer back up to 14th, getting around Brian Wilson. Let's see, he wasn't already behind him. But now they've caught Al Capone. Anderson pulls out the pass. Woody Woodpecker with a look. Thought I heard the screeching of tires somewhere. As is wont to do when cars screech tires. Now here comes more drivers. Hut Strickland's run got blunted a little bit. And Woody Woodpecker is your new race leader. As we approach halfway in today's race. Now Ian Anderson sweeping to the inside. Hut trying to get the high line working. It doesn't work. Woody Woodpecker holds on the spot. As now Hut Strickland is going for 11th place on John Cena. Easily clears the 24. Now has got his set sight on Brendan Gaughan to break into the top 10. In the second place will go Bob Ross. Telly Savalas flying. Get around Ian Anderson. Crow's right there. First 9 are pretty close, and there's a bit of a gap back to 10th. Hut Strickland. Now these guys are pairing up side by side as they come to the line. Who will lead this lap? It's Bob Ross. And if they're side by side, that only does one thing for this 90 car, and that's help them out immensely. We're a lap and a half away from halfway in today's race. Woody Woodpecker back to the race lead. Woody Woodpecker leading. Telly Savalas making a move for second place. Ian Anderson being hounded by his teammate David Dayton right now. So we got a 5-car battle for 6th, slightly down the road. Four more cars drawing into this battle. John Cena, Brendan Gaughan, Donald Fagen, and Jerry Springer as we have passed halfway. Oh, because that's Geddy Lee there. Now already some drivers hit pit road. Walter White the first one. Who's going to be the first here? It's the 8 of Ian Anderson. Brings it down. Hut Strickland being... Oh! Geddy Lee set onto the apron! Woody Woodpecker still leads as more cars head down pit lane. Bob Ross among them. Brendan Gaughan. Crow. Jeff Lynne. Telly Savalas. Jerry Springer. Snoop Dogg. Brian Wilson. Now this time by Woody Woodpecker, David Dayton, Peter Perfect, Marco Polo, John Cena, Hut Strickland, Donald Fagen, Geddy Lee. No, not Geddy Lee. Pretty fast stops for everybody. Of course, Hut Strickland finds a way to lose spots. At the moment, as they come off of 2, your leader is the 21 car, but Bob Ross is going to sail by on the outside. Woody Woodpecker in second, Ian Anderson third, Telly Savalas, Crow, Perfect, Gaughan, Dayton, Polo, Fagen, Lynn, Springer, Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Hut Strickland, John Cena. "45 laps to go. Bob Ross, your race leader." Oh, and Hut Strickland was in position to challenge for the lead. He's now 8 seconds behind. Say the top 14 all would have some sort of oh gosh. Caution? No, I thought I saw the pit road close sign. And this is your race for the lead. Woody Woodpecker, Bob Ross, and Ian Anderson. Crow in fourth. No, in fifth. Telly Savalas in fourth. And these guys are actually losing time. Some of them are. Jeff Flynn has the fastest lap of the race. Nearly cracked 28 seconds. Now Geddy Lee is going to be a little bit of a roadblock for these top three. They get around him just fine. Might be more of a problem for Telly Savalas depending on where he catches them. Oh, he's catching him in the dog leg. He moves to the inside. So does Ian Anderson trying to get around Bob Ross. So we have 40 laps to go here at the line. Go to the spectator view and you can really get a feel for things. Woody Woodpecker pulling a little bit of a gap out now. Oh, now Geddy Lee is holding up Brian Wilson. Woody Woodpecker is kind of gone at the moment, but Bob Ross trying to hold off Ian Anderson. And Telly Savalas has inserted himself into this conversation. Do not count him out. Back up front, we're catching the lap car of Al Capone. Near 3 cars under a blanket per second. Ian Anderson pulls out as they come upon Al Capone, and he's going to hold them all up except for Woody Woodpecker. This could be a curse or a blessing. Interesting how these guys sifted out. Now Anderson, Telly Savalas up to third. This might be just a little bit. Allow these guys to close in just a little. Geddy Lee, very slow. James Bond's the next car on the track they have to pass. He's running respectable lap times. So is Walter White, Alpha Hitchcock. These guys are all going faster. Oh, David Dayton with an aggressive move to get around both Jerry Springer and the lap car Al Capone. Now he's going to work on taking 7th place from Peter Perfect. Brendan Gaughan, Snoop Dogg might get hold of. Brian Wilson has now gotten caught by John Cena and Hut Strickland. Hopefully this allows all 3 of them to go faster. Now Telly Savalas falling back to 4th place. As they come up on James Bond, he's going to prove to be a harder car to pass. So we're around halfway through this run of pit stops. He is stacking the field up. They're two side by side for the lead, trying to figure out just how to get around the 7. And this is allowing these guys to kind of group up. Unfortunately, these 3 can't really catch him either. And they all get by, but now they've got Geddy Lee to worry about. Walter White and Alfred Hitchcock just up the road as well. Ian Anderson trying to go around the outside of Geddy Lee. Held him up a bit. Now Geddy Lee's holding up the other 3 guys. Bob Ross now to the inside. And James Bond is going to try and pass Telly Savalas. No idea why. That's not for position. And that's just going to hurt the 92. Savalas fuming on the radio. Now, Lee holding up the pole sitter, Jeff Lynn. So we got a battle for the lead suddenly on our hands. Bob Ross will clear Ian Anderson. Crow T Robot really catching up to the 4. These guys just need a caution soon. So now they're weaving through mountain lap traffic to 43 and 10. These 3 have been the class of the field all day. Now James Bond has gone back to holding drivers up. And Alfred Hitchcock is... And Walter White's keeping the 66 and 8 at bay for the moment. Well, that's why these guys have slowed up. Now they're 3 wide. So 21 and 8 get by lapped car Walter White. Oh, nearly contact. So we have 25 laps left in this race. Telly Savalas trying to get around as Alfred Hitchcock is going to hit pit road. Be a good time for, say, Hut Strickland to come down, getting some clean air. Run lap with fresh tires. Now here comes Ian Anderson for 2nd. Some drivers sound low on RPMs and might be pitting here. Walter White is. He's not exactly. James Bond is. A lot of the lap cars getting out of the way towards the end of this race. Your leader, Bob Ross. See a lot of the lap cars, lead lap cars, trying to catch up. Who's slow? Bob Ross is coming to pits. Will hand the lead back to Ian Anderson. It could be the race-winning Brendan Gaughan's coming down. So is Brian Wilson. Half? Is it half a can or half a tank? More car, pretty much everybody else coming down this time by. Dayton stays out, Perfect stays out, Fagan stays out, Hutz Strickland also staying out. Probably not the greatest decision in the world. Savalas fixing damage. Fagan's gonna stay out to lead a lap here with now it's gonna be 19 to go. Hutz Strickland finally hitting the pits. Slow stop for Jerry Springer. I want to say, is Ian Anderson the virtual race, or Bob Ross going to be your virtual race leader? Another... Peter Perfect, technically the race leader at the moment, and now Bob Ross will cycle out in the lead. Hutt's going to gain maybe a spot out of it. Depends on if he can stay ahead of Telly Savalas. Fagan off the track. He was the leader. Now it's gonna be Bob Ross, then Ian Anderson, Woody Woodpecker, Crow, and then Donald Fagan. Battle for 13th between Hutz Strickland and Telly Savalas. '99 leaves his pit stall. 16 laps to go for Bob Ross for back-to-back Dr. Pepper World 600 wins. And there's Geddy Lee, who's being inconvenient for a lot of guys. Bob Ross closing. We're not getting closed in on by Ian Anderson. It's 15 to go. $16 cars still even on the lead lap. Now he's falling back. The gap is at 2 seconds. 13 to go. He cut in a tenth that time, but it's not going to be enough. He's got one hope, and that's Woody Woodpecker will work with him. These guys go side by side. Bob Ross is going to absolutely walk away with this race. And that looks like what they're doing. The gap now nearly at 2.5 seconds. Side by side as the battle for second heats up. Bob Ross utterly walking away with this one. Ten laps to go for Bob Ross here in the Dr. Pepper World 600. A marathon race. Two and a half seconds is the lead. He can cruise from here. Woody Woodpecker running just in front of Ian Anderson at the moment. That time they closed in a little bit, but they'll have to go faster. 9 laps to go. Unless Geddy Lee might become a factor here at the end of this race. Battle for fourth right now. Donald Fagan holding on over Crow T Robot. Marco Polo and Peter Perfect also up here. David Dayton, Snoop Dogg, and Brendan Gaughan will round out the top 10. Aggie Kuba has passed Geddy Lee. Not for position, obviously. They'd be coming. Geddy Lee is 6 laps down at the moment. He's crossing the start-finish line now. Now Ross is over the line. And these guys are working together, finally. It's under a second and a half now. And these guys are coming too. Coming to 5 to go. How easily he'll get around with ease. Lee's gonna hold up the 21 and the 8. Woody Woodpecker fuming on the radio at the 99 car. As now with 4 laps to go, the gap over a second and a half. Crow holding on to 6th at the moment. Over Marco 5th, 4th. The Perfect's up here. Donald Fagan fading here in the long run. Three to go. Gonna be 2 at the line. cruise mode for Bob Ross. The gap extended just ever so slightly. Woody Woodpecker's gonna have to let Ian Anderson go if they want to win this race. Which I don't think is gonna happen because it is the white flag. Out. Last lap. The gap still grows. A lot of battles around the track. Hut Strickland. Brendan Gaughan faded. Inside, Woody Woodpecker will take second, but Bob Ross will go back-to-back in the Dr. Pepper World 600. Bob Ross wins at Charlotte. Bob Ross had one of the faster cars all night. Though he started near the back in 28th. Woody Woodpecker back in 29th. A lot of the people who started towards the back ended up running here at the end. Ian Anderson tries to go. From last to first, who will finish third once again, overcoming adversity. Several drivers had really bad days in the points that really didn't need them. Yes. Bela Fleck had a terrific race. Blaze Alexander, Carl Edwards, all people just go or go home each week. But Marco Polo had a good points day. 5th place. Donald Fagan needed a run like that. There was your points going into the race. Now they're going to be mental. Ford will take the lead in the manufacturers battle. And here you go. Marco Polo has whittled the points lead down to 63 with that one. Ian Anderson has jumped 10 spots in points. Hut Strickland moves up. But we got some activity as now Count Dracula is still 30. Donald Fagan up to 38th. Carl Edwards could have capitalized. James Bond moves into 36th. Anderson did not win the pole last week. My bad. David Dayton has won 2 poles this year and no top 5s to show. It's an incredible. Jerry Springer still hasn't led any laps. Donald Fagen led 2 today, it looks like. Yes. Maldonado jumps up 3 spots in points. Put another bad run points-wise. Eggsy just jumps up 4 spots. It's crazy. Next time out is Kansas. That's next week. Hopefully that'll be a lot calmer. This race was absolutely mental, at least towards the beginning. Can't tell, I'm a little worn out. Bob Ross, your Dr. Pepper World 600 winner. Joe Biden remains your points leader. All of us here at the Western Cave Sports Network, thank you, and have a good day.